In 2008, he was a ghost, a former action hero who could not get an agent to return his call. The internet used his face for memes. Hollywood saw him as difficult, damaged, and done. 15 years later, 5,000 people gave him a standing ovation that would not end. Not out of pity, out of love. Welcome to the greatest comeback in Hollywood history. Not the story of a star who faded, but the story of a good man who was broken, buried, and refused to stay dead. This is Brendan Fraser from 0 to $20 million, and this is how he won. To understand the fall, you have to understand the height. The early 90s, Brendan Fraser was not just a star, he was a force of nature. He was 6 feet 3 inches, he did his own stunts, and unlike the brooding action stars of the era, Brendan was gentle. He had the body of a wrestler, but the eyes of a golden retriever. He made physical comedy look like ballet, but 1999 changed everything. The Mummy. It was not supposed to be a hit, but Brendan Fraser turned a B-movie monster flick into an Indiana Jones level adventure. Why? Because he played it real. When his character was terrified, you saw it. When he was heroic, you believed it. By 2003, he was making $20 million a picture. He was the highest paid actor in the adventure genre. He had a beautiful wife, 3 sons. He was on the top of the physical world. But here is the secret they don't tell you in acting class. Gravity always wins. By 2007, Brendan Fraser had undergone 7 major surgeries: a laminectomy, a partial knee replacement, vocal cord repair. He threw his body into the fire for our entertainment. And just as his body broke, Hollywood stabbed him in the back. In 2003, Brendan joined the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, the group behind the Golden Globes. He says he was groped by a powerful male president of the HFPA. For a decade, he stayed silent, but when he finally spoke to GQ in 2018, he said the words that sent a chill down the industry's spine. I felt like a little kid. I felt like there was a ball in my throat. After he reported the assault, the HFPA allegedly promised to help his career. Instead, they blacklisted him. The invitations to the Globe stopped. The major roles dried up overnight. Hollywood said speak up, but when he did, they punished him for ruining their party. Then the rest of his life collapsed. His wife filed for divorce. She asked for $70,000 a month in child support plus legal fees. Brendan was making no money. Listen to this. At his lowest point, Brendan Fraser, a former $20 million man, had to pay his ex-wife nearly $1 million a year. He was hemorrhaging cash. He lost his house. He lost his health. And then the internet did something cruel. They turned his pain into a joke. The sad Brendan memes. They did not know he was in physical agony from spinal surgeries. They did not know he was recovering from an assault. They just saw a fat guy crying in a meme and they laughed. Most actors would have retired, most would have cashed out, moved to a ranch and faded away. But Brendan Fraser is not most actors because he had 3 boys watching him. While Marvel was calling everyone else, Brendan was taking roles nobody wanted. Small TV parts, voiceover work for Doom Patrol. Why? Because he was rebuilding not his muscles, his soul. In 2021, Darren Aronofsky offered him the role of a lifetime. The Whale, a 600-pound English teacher dying of congestive heart failure, trying to reconnect with his estranged daughter. Brendan did not just act the part, he lived it. He wore a 300-pound prosthetic suit. He had to learn to breathe differently, to move like a man trapped inside a body that was betraying him. Sound familiar?
I need to know that I have done one thing right with my life.
Do you ever feel like no matter what you do, you are just gonna mess it up? That was not acting, that was Brendan Fraser talking to 2014. When the film premiered at Venice, the audience did not clap for a minute, they clapped for 6 minutes. He tried to leave the theater, they would not let him. He leaned into his microphone and said, "I am so grateful, I am crying because I did not think I'd ever have this again." The industry that threw him away had to swallow its pride. The HFPA, they tried to give him a Golden Globe for The Whale. He refused to attend. He called them out by name. Brendan Fraser won the Oscar for Best Actor without shaking a single hand at the Golden Globes. That is poetic justice. On March 12, 2023, Brendan Fraser held the Oscar. He was 54 years old. He had been a ghost for a decade. He had been a meme. He had been broke. But here is the lesson for us, the audience. The reason we wept when he won is not because he was talented. We knew that. It's because he was kind. In an industry of narcissists, Brendan Fraser is the guy who, at the height of his fame, would stop to talk to a crying fan. The guy who wrote thank you notes to his stunt doubles. The guy who, when the world mocked him, did not get bitter, he got better. And the money, he is back to making $20 million films now. But this time the number does not matter. Because he learned the truth. Success is not the absence of failure, it's the refusal to let failure write your final chapter. Here is what I want you to remember watching this at home. You might be in a job you hate, a marriage that's falling apart, a body that hurts. The world told Brendan Fraser he was finished. He was too old, too fat, too broken, too expensive. He did not listen. He just showed up every single day for 15 years. So if you are waiting for your comeback, stop waiting. Start the slow, boring, painful work of becoming undeniable. And remember, the whale does not win the race by being first. He wins by refusing to sing. Thanks for watching. Now go be undeniable.